And we're back with special guests Diane and Nick Sauer, designers of Pinball Showdown and Conspiracy. Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is Vespertine, of, relating to, or occurring in the evening, active, flowering, or flourishing in the evening. And then it says crepuscular,
okay.
which it's crepuscular, of relating to, resembling twilight, or everything that resembles twilight, which leads me to one word, and I'm curious if you're going to go in that direction. So let's see what you got.
Probably, literally the first thing that makes me think of is vampires.
Exactly.
And Dracula, and to a lesser extent, like werewolves.
Right. And if you combine it with flamboyant, you get Lestat, of course. You know.
From Interview with Vampire.
See, you're doing what I do is I start merging all my words together for the week, and every game is extending the last one.
Yeah, we were talking about yesterday's word, we're talking about today's word, and it's like, okay, I mentioned yesterday, like the disco game, where you were getting the silk shirt and all that for flamboyant, but it also works for something that happens at night, night fever. You've got all the discos going on,
night clubbing,
night clubbing, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, nightclub.
But obviously the first thing,
nightclub. The vampire game is a cool idea.
You're a vampire in a nightclub. That could be actually a great combo. That's kind of interesting. But what I was thinking, and what we were talking about, was maybe something where, as the early evening, as it gets closer to midnight, as vampire you get stronger. You get maybe more actions, and can do more things, or maybe you get access to powers that you normally wouldn't have, but you can only use them at the darkest time of night. And as the night goes on and it gets closer to day, you start getting weaker and eventually have to retreat. I'm thinking maybe that might be something where there's maybe multiple vampires and there's multiple hunters, kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's neat. I had a game we were working on for a while called Nightlife, and the setting was vampires in Vegas, and the idea was that's why everybody stays up all night in Vegas, is because they're all vampires anyway. And it was really just it was an interesting game that was a little bit role-playing, but it played with playing cards in kind of the way that you would play Fiasco with dice. And it had a lot of those aspects to it. And it just was one of those things that just fell apart. And I was co-designing it with somebody. But I just love the concept of vampires in Vegas.
Yeah, that kind of works too with the nightclubs and everything too.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it.
Yeah, the only thing I had from a design stand was there's a bunch of night blooming flowers that are actually a surprisingly large number of them if you ever look it up on Google. You could do a game where you're like florists doing these night blooming flowers, which would not be even remotely creepy, I guess. But
Well, one of those things about night and dark in like a gameplay sense is like the unknown, like you're looking at the backside of cards instead of the fronts, and during the day phase you get to look at the fronts. I like anything like that where when it goes to nighttime, your ability to see changes. So I like anything like that.
Well, one of the games we're actually working on, that's going to be probably the sequel to Born to Serve, is called Cry Monster, and in that game there's actually a day cycle and a night cycle, and the idea is basically your monster's trying to not get caught by the villagers who have a wanted poster for one of you because they're tired of your shenanigans, but no one knows who each other are. And during the night cycle, the monsters are out running around trying to gather stuff before the day cycle when the villagers go up with the torches and pitchforks to go after them. So.
Is this merging the Yeti and the what's it called? Bigfoot and Yeti and Born to Serve?
No. It's a completely different game. It's basically a social deduction,
right? Yeah,
game, but kind of
a little more crunchy than the standard ones,
right? And the cool, the neat mechanic thing we came up with is that the villagers, instead of like normally a lot of those games, you make an accusation, you're the werewolf or whatever.
Yeah.
But in this case, what we have is during the day cycle, all the players become the villagers, and they have torches, and you basically put your torches on the creature that you think is
the player you think is the creature.
Is the creature that you're...
And, you basically, each player has about 8 hit points, and and so eventually if you get like 8 villagers on you, the round ends, and you either flip up your card, and either they captured the villagers have captured the right monster, or they haven't, and hilarity ensues based upon
the monster right. And as you get damaged, you basically become angrier, and you become more powerful and have access to more things. So they have. So anyway, that's Cry Monster, which is kind of that. It's got that day versus night thing.
But then there's you came up with the awesome theme, I thought, here.
Well, before I get to my awesome theme,
gotta save that for last.
I'll save that one for last. Is the big wow finisher now. Is I also thought of ghost hunting, like there's all these ghost hunters international, all these different shows.
Oh so Pierre de Beaumont.
You can do some kind of ghost hunting, haunted house, something, again, maybe the classic trope, how many TV series have been based on Scooby-Doo, where you were, okay, you've got to stay overnight in the house to get the fortune.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Confederate money, but yeah.
Right, was that Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
It was Scooby-Doo, yeah. But yeah, something like that I thought, it makes me think of. Did you have anything?
That's it, I had the flowers, that was it. Yeah.
Okay, the thing I came up with kind of on the fly, is that you're Santa Claus trying to deliver the presents.
Okay.
Around the world before daylight. So you're trying to get to the various locations. And I'm not sure, maybe somebody plays like a Grinch or something.
Krampus
or something, and tries to stop you from getting the presents to the kids in time.
It could be a co-op where it's you versus we are Santa and the elves versus the Krampus is trying to slow us down, as well as weather and bad kids or whatever it is, You
can make it competitive too, where one player is the Krampus and he's trying to steal the kids before you get the gifts to them.
Can you imagine the disappointment of okay, Santa, you didn't get presents to all the kids.
Yeah, I mean that's the saddest ending.
Worst Santa ever.
Yeah, that is going to be a devastating loss, I think.
So this is just a funny thing that reminds me of it. I took my daughter to a drugstore like Walgreens or something for whatever reason, and it was right before Easter, and she asked me why certain Easter candy was individually wrapped, and my answer that almost came out was so we can put it in the basket. But it was little they were little hard chocolate eggs or something, and she's like, why are they individually wrapped in there? And that was really the only answer I could come up with. And then it made me think, what it made me think of immediately was, what does she think that entire Easter candy aisle is for, other than us buying to put in their basket?
Right. Yeah.
What is the point of any of that? And it struck me as it's in their face and they just don't even see it. It was amazing.
Easter Bunny unloading his excess stock. Hey guys, you want this? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to come up with something on the fly. I just said, what was I don't even remember what I said, but it was one of those times I was like, I almost just blurted out, so we can put it in the basket. What else?
Yeah. I'm thinking about it. That's fun.
Yeah. All right, cool. That was yeah.
So that's the three. I mean, obviously the vampire, the werewolf, there's a million different themes around that. But I thought and again I thought the mechanic of maybe getting stronger, as the night went on, and then weaker as after you as it gets
the time thing
as it gets lighter, you become weaker.
So you can time it so you hit right at that darkest moment at whatever midnight.
Right. So right at midnight, that's when you unleash whatever you're unleashing, and then that's what you're trying to do.
Cool. All right. Well, tell everybody how they can find you and get in touch with you and follow along.
You could find Nick and I on Twitter at Shoot Again Games, Facebook Shoot Again Games, and our website is shootagaingames.com.
Where does Shoot Again come from? Where does that name come from?
The name comes from back. This is way
I have an idea, but
you're going to probably you're probably going to be wrong. Because way back, I'm talking like the 80s,
okay.
when I was first thinking about, like, if I ever have a game company, I'm going to call it Shoot First Games.
Okay.
Like, shoot first, ask questions later, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. So when it came time to actually get to the game company, I look out and there's no Shoot First is not available. Like some old defunct game from the 2003 has the Shoot First website.
It was a video game company.
It was a video game
specifically, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's crappy. So I go and I put Shoot Dash First or something stupid like that. And literally 10 minutes later, I think, you know what? My other business is Shoot Again Pinball. Okay, which
that was
makes
what I was going to
perfect sense.
suggest was pinball.
Right, and so that was it. So it's like, okay, well, pinball because obviously you get extra ball, you get Shoot Again, and Shoot Again because I'm taking an old pinball machine and making it work again, right? But I said, I'm really dumb. I should just call we should call the game thing Shoot Again Games. We have Shoot Again Pinball, and then we could do clever things like, hey, on our message machine, we go, hey, if you want to leave a message for Shoot Again, leave it at the beeper or whatever, and that way, when they start talking, we're going to know if they're talking about games or if they're talking about pinball. But then it's created problems where sometimes, like, I've made a mistake and I've accidentally deposited something into the wrong account, and I had to go back and go,
I'm sure our accountant isn't really happy having to refer to them as the board game company and the pinball company, respectively.
Yeah, that's like naming your son Junior, and then all the things that get mixed up from there on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So that was a part of it I hadn't thought thoughtfully through, but I think it's fine.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks again for doing this, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was very cool. Thanks for having us on.